Ta-da! Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, my dancing banker. Dancing banker is no longer dancing banker. She's not dancing insurance advisor. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much. If you're a new subscriber, I love you. If you're an existing subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Okay, so but my channel right now is going to have a little twist. There's going to be a little change in my channel right now, because I've been getting a lot of questions from my friends, family, colleagues, acquaintances, so many people. So tell us, how did you go about it? How did you go about the whole process, the whole travel process? So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. How did this happen? How did it start? Okay, in 2020, I think that was when in fact, decided in 2019. That was when I got to know about express entry. That was when I got to know about the Canadian journey. So it was a friend that spoke to me about it, like, oh, Tiola, why not try this? You're already working, you're in the bank, you would have you have work experience, you have this, you have masters, so why not try this? So I was like, oh really? I didn't know about it then. So I felt, okay, let me start researching about it. There's one thing I want you guys to put at the back of your mind. In this journey, there's a lot of work to be done. Not like work to scare you, but you need to do some self-research yourself. It's not everything that somebody would actually tell you. That is if you want to do it yourself, except if you want to go the route of maybe agents or something. But for me, and for most people that I know, they did it themselves, and here we are. So I researched about it. I went online and then I started searching about the whole Canadian immigration process, and then I got to know a few things, that I have to write IELTS, that I have to write WES, that I have to write okay, I have to write IELTS and WES, and even if you want to boost your scores, you can at least take TEF. TEF is the French exam. So I got to know about all this. So fast forward to 2020, that was when I became very serious about it, and I started the whole journey, like, sorry, I'll be right back. Okay, thank you. So the first thing I did was WES. I started with WES. I evaluated my degree with WES. I finished from University of Ilorin. I did my BSc and Masters at the University of Ilorin. So I had somebody in University of Ilorin that helped me out with the whole transcript runs and everything. So it was very fast. Well, not so fast, because in fact there was COVID at that time, but it was not too bad. I didn't have to go to school at any point in time. I had somebody in the school to help me out, go to the PG school, to the undergraduate school and all sorts. So what else? So after that, so because I registered with WES. So I registered with WES. Okay, I think what I'm doing right now is just to tell you about my own journey. I evaluated my degree. At that time, I think it was all your degrees. So I did my BSc and my WES. I did my BSc and my Masters. But right now, I think it's your highest degree. You don't need to evaluate your secondary school, your BSc, your Masters. If you have PhD, that's only PhD that you have to evaluate. If you have Masters, it's only your Masters. And if BSc is your highest degree, it's only BSc you have to evaluate. So I did that, and my WES report came out in October 2020. Yeah. So after that came out, I then proceeded to register for IELTS, January 2021. So I registered with British Council, and then when the result came out, 2 weeks after or 13 days after, I did it in Ibadan. So I had overall was 7.5. So I think my listening was 9. My listening was 9. My reading was 7. I think my speaking was 7. My writing was maybe 7 too. I think it was my speaking that actually messed that report up a bit, because if my speaking was like maybe 8, I would have been fine. but I think my speaking at that time was 7.5, and it was not too good. So my overall was 7.5. So along the journey, what I realized is, sorry, if you want to have a very good score, or you want your IELTS to be marked, just focus more, not like you're not focusing on everything, but focus more on your speaking and listening. Yeah, speaking and listening, you know, that's just like the major two mode of communication anywhere. Like you see that you write, and then you listen, and then you write, and then you speak. So I think it carries more mark. It carries more mark, kind of, so you can focus more on that whenever you want to prepare for your IELTS. So I did that, and I had 7.5 overall. So when I used the tool, the CRS tool, I'm going to be dropping it in the link in the description box. The link, the tool, when I just you know, just to simulate my score and see what I would have, I was getting 440 something. It was not good. Okay, at that time, my husband had not written IELTS. We had not even added him to the application, but I just added him like, oh, I was married and all. So that was that. So I felt, okay, I think I need to write another IELTS, because at that time, that was January 2021, right? The last draw, no, that was January, yeah, 2021. The last draw was in December 2020, and just shortly before the COVID era. And the last draw that, the last FSW draw was 468. That was the last draw that IRCC picked, and you know, 468. So at the time I was doing my own IELTS, and I now had 444. Of course, it's very low. They can't come as low as that. And at that time, we didn't even know there was going to be a long pause. So I did mine, and fast forward to March 2021, I decided to write another IELTS. This time I registered with IDP. IDP is MOD. I don't know the full name. But so I registered with IDP. I don't know the full name, sorry. But you can just Google it, it's online, IDP MOD. So I registered with that, and my score was better. I'm not saying MOD is better than British Council. That is just what I did. I first did British Council, so I said, okay, let me just try another, you know, agency and all. So I did with MOD, and my listening was, I had 8. My speaking, I think 8 also. My one was 9. Can't remember the one that was 9. Maybe my reading was 9, and then my writing was 7. So my overall score was 8. So I had 8, and my score was now about 460 something or thereabout. So okay, no, my score was now 400, and I can't really remember because there were a lot of permutation that I was doing at that time. So we decided, okay, let my husband also write IELTS and also evaluate his degree with Wes. So we did that, and by August 2021, my husband was on with his IELTS. He also had very good score. So you're supposed to try to, you know, get a very good score. Also, it boosts your chances, or it increases your score, kind of. So he had a good score, although it was 7.5 overall, but you know, it was the principal, no, I was the principal applicant, and it was like the dependent, so to say, how they call it, the secondary applicant. So we had 7.5, and the way we simulated the score, it was 476. Yeah, so that was my score. So I had 476 at the end of August 2022. So I decided that, okay, it was time for me to start gathering my POF. So I started calling oh my god, I started calling Ultra Skater. I didn't have all that funds then, because for a family of 2, I needed at least 5 million or so. But just because of just to buffer it, just because of gap, just because of anything, IRCC changes their POF for families like almost every time. Not like every time, but they change it maybe like once a year or once in 2 years or something. So just to give that gap, or just to give that buffer, I was looking for something like 6 million naira just to put in the account. It was not as if I had that money in my account all along and everything. So what I did at some point, when I got a bulk sum, there's something called deed of gifts, gift of deed, or gift of deed, gift of deed, or deed of gift, or deed of gifts. Oh my god. Okay, I think it's deed of gifts. Yeah, deed of gifts. So the deed of gifts is that if you have a bulk sum and you just don't want to put it in your, you don't want to just put it in your account, because they can ask you that where's this money coming from? Especially for accounts that have not witnessed such kind of inflow before. Maybe your account is always, or the account you want to use, maybe 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 100, and all of a sudden 4 million is coming in just because you want to do POF thing and everything. So it raises suspicion, and they can flag it like, oh, explain, and then, you know, the back and forth. You don't want the back and forth of explaining where you got 4 million naira all of a sudden and all sorts. So what I did was, although my account was saying at least up to maybe 200, 300, 400, but I just didn't want to take any chances at once. Yeah, I just didn't want to take any chances. So I decided to gather the money. Friends came around. I mean, family. It was family. It was family for me that came around to, you know, help out and give the money and just, you know, borrow me the money at that time. And so I was able to raise, I had some additional in my account, so I was able to raise some other. So I sent it to my mom, and then she sent it to me, and then I did a deed of gift. So it was more like a letter saying, oh, the donor, which is my mom, is giving me, the donee, which is me, this sum of money for my immigration process, for my relocation abroad and everything. So, and then I got a lawyer to just notarize it, just to put the stamp or the seal on it. So just to make it like, oh yeah, it's from a lawyer. Okay. So, and so fast forward to December 2021, the whole of 2021, IRCC did not do any draw. Like, no draw. They didn't call anybody. They were only doing PNP. They were only doing, were they even doing PNP at that time? Yeah, I think they were only doing PNP. And what is PNP? PNP is provincial nomination. So provincial is just like states. Just like Nigeria, we have states. So same as Canada. Canada has states, so to say, like provinces or regions. So now, these regions, depending on the province, can decide that, oh, they want to do their own draw on their own. But so they would, depending on the criteria, different provinces have different criteria. New Brunswick, Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba, Ontario, Nova Scotia, just almost all of them are into the provincial nomination thing. So what they do is they have a set of criteria or set of requirements, so to say, like they want. So I started researching about this because I saw that was the only thing IRCC was calling. What this provincial nomination does to you is to give you additional 600 points. So once a province nominates you, you get additional 600 points to your whatever score you have. So for instance, if with my 476, a province nominated me at that time, plus 600, I would have 1,076. So that was very easy for IRCC to, because their draw then was about 700 plus, and you can't have 700 plus with just your normal education, your normal BSc or your normal IELTS or your normal TEF or anything. You can't even get more than 600 without a provincial nomination. The maximum you can have is 1-2, but there's a 600 that comes from the provincial nomination if you have it. So when I discovered that, I felt I can't just sit down like this and not do anything. That means I have to up my game and know what I'm doing at that time. So I started researching about all provinces. In fact, I applied to almost all the provinces that I could apply to. Some provinces you can't apply to them. They pick directly from the pool. So first of all, in everything you're doing, you just have to get into the pool. Okay, without being in the pool, no miracle can happen, of course. So you have to be in the IRCC pool. So I started researching about these provinces. I applied to Manitoba. For instance, Manitoba, you need to have a relative or a friend in Manitoba. I can say, yes, I know you. I know Adiola. So that's for Manitoba. My score then was Manitoba, maybe 500 and something. And Manitoba was, I don't know, but I've forgotten, honestly. So I applied there. I applied to New Brunswick. I saw that New Brunswick was taking my work experience, the work I do, which is bankers and other credit managers, bankers, supervisor and other credit managers, something. So I saw that, yeah, they were picking them then. So I applied to New Brunswick. I didn't get anything. I applied to Saskatchewan. For Saskatchewan, your job experience, your work experience must match what you did in school. So say you're working in a bank, that means you must have studied accounting in school. That is for Saskatchewan. If you don't have that, if your work experience does not match your education, I don't think you stand a chance with them. So after applying to in fact, I even applied to Prince Edward Island. Guys, oh my God. I now got to know about Ontario. I discovered that I researched a lot about Ontario. At that point, there were a lot of groups on Telegram. So there was this particular one for Ontario group. It's only when you get notification of interest from Ontario that they add you to that group. And I saw that it seems like I would understand a lot if I joined that group. So the African in me, by faith, I claimed that yes, I had gotten notification of interest from Ontario and I was added to that group. And that was when I learned a lot of things that Ontario needs, how Ontario works, how Ontario work. And then I discovered, according to also my further research, that for Ontario, you just need to be in the pool. Ontario has a certain range they pick. For instance, I researched as far back as 2020, 2019, 2020, 2021, and I saw that they were picking range of CRS score from sometime 470 to 460 to 467, 461 to 467, 462 to 467. In fact, sometimes 466 and 467. I saw that they were not going below 467. And look at me at that time, I had 476. So what do? I started permutating my CRS, my score with the CRS2 I spoke about earlier. So I removed my husband's education. Whatever it is I say, happens. You don't concern anybody. So I removed my husband's education. It's just whatever it is you want to do. It is anything you put on your profile, just be ready to defend it with documents. That's all. So if I say he didn't go to school, just because I'm not ready to provide any document to show that he actually went to school, then it's fine. IELTS does not have any problem. But it is when you say you went to school in the profile, and then when IT comes or NY comes, okay, where's the evidence that you went to school, and then you can't provide it. That's where issue comes. So I said that, okay, let me remove this, so I can just reduce my score. You can reduce your score, you can, So I did that, and I reduced my score, and I had 466. So lucky me, I was so happy. I had 466 in the range of what Ontario picked, and I had the NOC, because we have NOC also. NOC is occupation classification. Oh my God. NOC is something occupational classification. I'm going to write it. I'm going to write the full name in the description. So that's your work experience, what you do. So if you're a doctor, if you're a nurse, if you're an engineer, if you're a pharmacist, if you're a banker, technician, anything, whatsoever you are, plumber, hairdresser, cosmetic manager, or whatever, there's a particular code assigned to every job that there is, or that Canada calls or Canada wants, so to say. So there's a particular teachers, anything, just name it. So that's NOC. So for me, my NOC was bankers, supervisors, and other credit managers or something, and my NOC code was 7122. So I saw that Ontario usually pick in the finance world, in the finance department. So that my particular NOC was what they usually pick. So I had to, like I said, try to reduce my NOC, my CRS to fall into that range that they pick. And it happened while we were still at it, because even at that point, I was almost getting tired, IELTS is not doing any job. Let me just find another way. I started trying to apply to schools to go through the study route. I applied to so many schools in Canada. I applied to schools in UK. But I got about 4 admissions in school in UK. But I just, something in me just felt like, just hold on, hold out. Delay is not denial. So, and luckily for me, to God be the glory, January 2022, January 12 precisely, 2022, I got notification of interest from Ontario. Voila! Keyword. Okay, so I got notification of interest from Ontario, and I was asked to, apply and submit my documents. So that was when the ETA started for proof of fund because I had never completed my proof of fund at that time. So, but to God be the glory, family came around and I was able to get the complete money. So I sent it to I was explaining it earlier. I sent it to my mom. My mom sent it to my account, and then I did a deed of gift on it. So, like I explained, it was notarized and everything. So I was good with that. I got my reference letter at work. I got my pay slips because they requested for pay slips. I think about 4 pay slips for different period that you've been working. And then, okay, birth certificate, marriage certificate, your documents basically. Your IELTS result here. That's when you now show them proof of IELTS result. You put in your number, your test number, and then your words also, you put in your report number so that they can confirm all of this and everything. So I submitted on February 16, 2022. So the wait began. So, we started praying and hoping and, praying to God that everything will be fine. And to God be the glory. April 6, 2022. That was, in fact, that was my parents' wedding anniversary. I got nomination from Ontario. Yeah! I got nomination from Ontario April 6, 2022. So, and by the following week, April 13, 2022, I got invitation to apply from the federal government of Canada. So it was so fast. We have 60 days to apply, but I didn't even take up to 1 for a year. So I just spent about maybe 2 days or 3. I would have even submitted in 2 days, but I could not pay with my card the day I wanted to pay for the application fee. So I had to wait till the following day. So under 2 days, under 3 days, by April 16, 2022, I submitted my application. And then I started waiting for a response. So July 7th, 2022, I got the mail for medicals. So I went for my medicals in Lagos, and that was also uploaded. And then 2 weeks or 3 weeks after, I got my PPR. July 29 was the deal breaker, was the game changer. So July 29, 2022, I got the almighty mail. I got the almighty ready for visa mail. Oh my God. I still wanna cry. Anytime I remember that day, that was a turnaround for me. That was a turnaround for my family. And I am super, super, super grateful to God for everything He has done. So January 29, 2022, I got my ready for visa mail to send my passport, to send our passport for me and my husband. So we sent that to the Lagos VFS visa office, and that was sent to, I think, Accra or something. So that was another gist for another day. And so that was what happened. And by August, I think end of August, our passports came back. And in fact, I sent our passport, myself and my husband. We got PPR July 29. We sent our passport July 30. Like, cannot wait to, hey, fire. So we sent our passport the following day. And 2 days after, I'm sure I was still in Lagos. By the time I sent my passport, I don't even left Lagos to Accra or anything. That we booked our flights sharply. Say, oh, Nigeria, I love you, but so we booked our flights to Canada. We booked our flight August 1 for September 24. So that's my journey that's my journey, guys. Hey, in all of this journey, it appeared like everything went so smoothly. Everything is so fine. Like, so everything went so smoothly. Like, what I say, come, if I hear, more days I cried, days I was so sad. I was, depressed. Like, what's gonna happen? I was just tired of everything going on around me. It was a lot, but to God be the glory. Great things He had done, so lovely, and they all love. So anyway, I just want to take this time out to thank everyone that has been there, reaching out, popping in to say hello and everything. Everyone for their support so far. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you all, and I want to pray a fervent prayer for my heart. There are many that are looking unto God for this kind of good news, for this kind of relocation miracle, because indeed it was a miracle for us. Honestly, it was a miracle. It was not like we were good. Fam, my application was approved in, first of all, the nomination took, I submitted February 12, February 16, right? Nomination came April 6. That was like a month and a half, thereabouts. Some people's application take up to, for nomination, 8 months sometimes. Like, they get frustrated, like they just don't want, but they don't, So 8 months, but my application was approved in 1 month plus. Of course, there were some people that the application was approved in maybe 2 weeks, but so grace differs. So I just want to thank God. My ITA, my federal application also, I submitted April 16th and it was approved July 29th. What's that? Like 2 months plus. That's like 2 months plus also, or 3 months. So I just want to give God the glory that for He has done this great thing. And I want to pray for everybody that is looking unto God for this miracle, that is looking unto God for this big move. I pray and ask that God will grant all your heart desires. I pray that God will make it easy for you, because that's just the word. God would make it easy for you. Whatever resources is needed of you, whatever resources you need, whatever material, whether it's finance, whether it is the wisdom to take some decisions, whether it's knowledge, you need knowledge to to understand something. I ask Almighty God that He would grant your heart desires. It would perfect all that concerns you, and before you know it, by the special grace of God, you will start your process, you will start your application process, and you will complete it by God's grace. So love and light to everybody. Thank you for, if you watch this video to this end, you are the real MVP. Well, thank you so much, guys. I just want to say thank you and I appreciate you. So see you all again in my next video. So I'm going to look for something to do. So maybe I'm going to break it down, what to do, how to start, but on what you need to do, because it honestly, it is not a one size fits all. What works for me might not work for you, because there are so many circumstances, so to say, or there are so many criteria. Because number one, age is a factor. Age is a factor that reduces your CRS. And the fact that I did express entry, some people might decide not to. Some people already have education in Canada. That is, or some people have work experience in Canada already. Maybe you had come here to study and you had worked, so you can have work experience and you can add to your score and then boost it. So it differs for everybody. It differs for everybody. So maybe I can start just trying to the best of my knowledge. To the best of my knowledge. Not like I know everything, but I can just try to guide as much as possible what I did. God also sent people my way during this journey. God sent some people my way that helped me, just to give me encouragement, just to guide me. I called a lot of people that I know were in Canada. Please, how do I do this? Please, what do I do? Please, I'm at this junction. I'm stuck. Can you help me out? Can you do this? And a lot of people were helpful. A lot of people assisted me. So I just want to say I'll be here to answer questions, if you need any further clarification or what to do. And if express entry is not working, guys, there's the student route. I don't know much about it, but I know that there's the student route, and there's a lot of people here too on student visa and PGWP, and that's the postgraduate work permit. So it's not what works for me, like I said earlier, might not work for you, but I'm sure that at the end of it all, God's name alone shall be praised. Okay. All right, thank you guys. My name once again is Dancing Banker. Dancing Banker till last date. Okay, so thank you so much for watching my video today. Bye.